parts of the mines that sit beneath, and also like the whole entourage, and all of that is part of a unique landscape that deserves protection and not to be blown up for the profit of some Canadian company.
So here I am making myself some food, and I came across this video on social media, and I couldn't help but think about Roșia Montană. For those of you that don't know this, Roșia Montană is quite important for the activist community in Romania. The society rallied against a government that was corrupt, a government that was bought by this company. I mean, you can read more about it. The case was pretty public. But finally, the community and the people who to the streets and blocked cities and whatever else happened. And we managed to block the project. The company Gold Corporation had to stop the project. However, I saw this investigation last night. And I'll just summarize the basics of it. There are 3 cases that this guy looked into in Romania with people from Romania. And he went into looking at what happened with Roșia Montană, what happened with illegal logging in Romania, what happened with the greatest cyanide spill from Romania. That's pretty much like Romania's Chernobyl. And other cases. For example, if you know about the municipality Jamana. And throughout these investigations, he didn't stop at, oh my God, the society won. The communities rallied and stopped the government from doing something bad finally after Jamana happened and Romania's Chernobyl happened. But then I got to the point in his investigation where he looked into what happened with Roșia Montană. And as an activist involved in what happened in Roșia Montană at some level, even though it was basic, it was what motivated me and what kind of formed me in a way, got me to where I am today, wherever that may be. And it was night after night, day after day, of people taking to the streets and blocking cities, and there was no way of stopping what happened. But the people managed to make it so that finally, I believe in 2021, Roșia Montană was recognized in the UNESCO heritage, and it was saved. Gold Corporation could no longer mine in Roșia Montană. However, what happened to the city, a thriving community back in the day, is actually worse than what happened to Jamana. In this documentary, he looks into how Gold Corporation is still owning property in Roșia Montană and letting it decay, and nobody can do anything about it. And the worst of the worst is the copper mine that destroyed Jamana is still ongoing, it's still functioning, it's still mining for copper, the same way it did when it destroyed Jamana. The lake of toxic sludge is still accumulating. They're still extracting copper. Copper that is going to China, and Romania has to import copper. Those who know me know that I'm not with Georgescu or anything. I'm against extraction for anyone, if any kind. We need to stop extractivism. We need to stop overconsumption. We need to stop overpopulating. We need to do a lot of things, and this is just something that I found out that it's happening. Like, I'm around like 200, no, not even 100, maybe 150 kilometers away from this, and we fought this battle for Roșia Montană. Oh yeah, and aside from the copper mining still going, a Canadian company managed to find a way to extract minerals and metals from Roșia Montană because of the European Union legislation on, oh my God, we need to not be dependent on other countries for these minerals because lithium and cobalt and whatever else is needed for the green transition, and we can no longer get it from countries like, I don't know, Sudan, Congo, because people are fighting back, or Nigeria, people are fighting back. or Kenya. People are fighting back because they stopped buying into, everyone stopped buying into the colonialist propaganda because we have information that gives us access to a form of education that we haven't had before. Yes, these social media platforms can be very toxic, and they are very toxic. But at the same time, they give us the opportunity to find out what's happening, when it's happening, where it's happening, from the people that it's happening to. Well, now I am aware of something that is happening so close to me, and I know something else that is happening 9 kilometers away from the border with Romania in Hungary, 30 kilometers away from my hometown, Oradea. There is a project that involves fracking for gas in an area which, not many people are aware of this, is pretty much hovering parts of my hometown, pretty much hovers over a very big deposit of water, or what used to be a very big deposit of water, for the thermal water that is used in Baile Felix. But we have been using water from that deposit of water underneath the city because Baile Felix has a long history. This city has a long history for literally hundreds of years. There's a fortress that's from the 1600s, I think. So that well, let's say, has been used up, and it doesn't manage to refill itself at the same rate at which it is depleted. So if you start fracking in the area, an area that doesn't have earthquakes, we don't have earthquakes here. But yeah, so they will be fracking 30 kilometers away from this area that is sitting on this pretty much void space. Some people should look into that. Aside from the copper mine that's still working, while Romania has to import copper because we don't have copper, or the forest that we are cutting down because, Sweden, Norway, Sweden, which is it? Sweden. They doesn't want to cut their own forest, so they cut Romania's, or, they don't do it directly, but people in Romania get paid to cut those forests because, well, the economics of the area is made in such a way that the only way that people can get employment is from the forestry industry. And they also cut forests that are protected in the same area of the Roşia Montană mine, the copper mine, the Apusen protected area, where the last ancient forests of Europe exist. But yeah, this is just my rant about what's happening. Aside from femicide rates skyrocketing, the war across the border in Ukraine, that is like drones are hovering around Romania, around Poland, because why not? Oh yeah, and Romania is actually buying drones from Israel, and also it is actually producing parts that are used to people in Palestine. And yeah, our president is we already cut from the education system, which was necessary because we are so in debt. I don't think the people in Romania understand how actually crazy the situation is. And for anyone who is thinking that Georgescu or the opposition that's in the coalition or the opposition that's outside of the coalition can get us out of this mess, they got us into this mess. We are in this mess because of them. Because they made a lot of spendings, and we are just starting to scratch the surface of the level at which corruption has been infecting our country for decades. Because it didn't die with Ceausescu. It didn't stop when democracy came into the country, because truth be told, democracy in Romania, democracy has always been mostly a scam. The same parties have been in charge of the country forever, and they're just like migrating from one party to the other. The level of corruption in Romania is insane, and I'm in a situation that's not very fortunate right now with how economics is going and how my expertise is not applicable anymore. This is what I do. And like activism. You are fighting a system that have been taking over our lives I'll come with more information about this as soon as I can get it out there.